All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. So let's go and dig on into our fourth segment. We are running short of time like we always do. I don't know why I even try to, time limit it. Like, it's crazy. Just end up talking my head off anyways. So we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw becoming a 2-hour show again. Should be interesting. I don't think it's for the best, but I could see why, I guess. Well, actually, I don't. The USA Network is set to hold all three WWE shows until October 1st, I believe, is the first episode of NXT. And then Friday Night SmackDown, it's going to be there. That's their new home. Excuse me. Monday Night Raw, it's going to Netflix. But is it going to return as a 3-hour show when they go to Netflix? Maybe, just maybe. So there was announced on WWE Raw, also all over social media, that beginning October 7th, WWE Monday Night Raw is going to return to a 2-hour format. Obviously, they're still going to be on the USA Network. Obviously, I don't really see them going anywhere, besides Netflix. Um, this obviously plays into Triple H's philosophy of, quality over quantity. I get it, you know what I mean? But I get it, but I don't get it. Because I can't be like, I don't like this, I don't hate it, but then I can't really support it. I can't really say it's good or bad. Obviously we have to see the first episode of Monday Night Raw. If it feels rushed, if it feels like a lot of superstars are getting short in the promos and stuff like that, then obviously this is going to be a big deal. This is going to matter. Kind of like with the whole PLEs only having 4 or 5 matches. For me as a wrestling fan, I hate it. Like, I can't stand it. Obviously, at Survivor Series, obviously, Royal Rumble, you kind of have. Well, I can't really say that the same as well. I feel like WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the only card that obviously it's 2 nights given, and SummerSlam, where you kind of have more than like 6 or 7 matches on a card. And I like that. As a wrestling fan, I like that. That's a huge reason why I feel like AEW is really awesome. That's why I love watching the pay-per-views on AEW, because every title is defended. Every title is defended. There's storylines that are coming from all over the place, from the bleachers, from the Raptors. Just giving these guys a chance to kind of go out there and just have matches. You know what I mean? Like, I think at AEW All Out during their 0 hour, that's their pre-show, I think they had like 3 or 4 matches. Like, in WWE only has like 1. They used to have like 2. Sometimes they have like a low end like title match where people know that, someone's going to win. Obviously, at WrestleMania, you have the Andre the Giant memorial, but it's it's crazy. Raw going back to 2 hours. I get it. It is a weekly show, but to kind of fit this philosophy that Triple H claims, that the quality over quantity, it works for PLEs. Yes, indeed, it does. But I feel like that's what you have a weekly show for. Is to kind of play around with acts a little bit, storylines. That's what I feel like it's there for. And now that WWE Raw, they lost an hour. Wow. That is big. That is, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Superstars will definitely suffer on Raw, and it's a damn shame. Just kind of mentioned a couple of them. We mentioned him before, how after the whole Odyssey Jones thing happened, for the allegations and stuff, he hasn't been seen, basically kind of essentially written off of WWE until I guess it's cleared. But even Rich Swann, he was cleared from allegations, but WWE still ultimately let him go. I don't know where that storyline was going to take off. You had the storyline between Karrion Kross and the Final Testament, where perhaps maybe Xavier Woods was going to turn on Kofi and have the New Day finally break up. I was against it. I was against it. I got to be honest. I did read a couple of articles that perhaps maybe opened my mind a little bit. When, the New Day is always going to be the New Day. No one's ever going to take it away from these guys. But is it fitting? Is it fair for Xavier Woods not to kind of have a singles run? He was, King Xavier Woods. He, won the King of the Ring quite some time ago. But I feel like I feel like he could get into better bookings. I feel like he could fight for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. I kind of thought the same thing when, Jey Uso was being pushed as a single star. I was like, dude, this is not going to work. I feel like he doesn't have the same star power as of like a Roman Reigns, as of like a Brock Lesnar, or Randy Orton, John Cena, or even Triple H. But right now, WWE, you kind of have maybe two or three main event guys on the roster. Now, I'm not saying that Kofi Kingston comes back and does the whole Kofi Mania thing, but he would definitely make an interesting opponent for Braun Breaker or for the new Intercontinental Champion, because I feel like right now you kind of have the same people challenging for the titles. Obviously, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso is actually getting his first title shot, so I think they're doing that pretty well. Braun Breaker, the moment he came from NXT, he was on an absolute tear. He made an impact, so I feel like he's doing decent. Ilya Dragunov, he started promising. He's kind of faltering down to a mid card jobber a little bit. I went out a jobber. That's kind of mean, but and Braun Strowman, big SOB Braun Strowman. I feel like I don't feel like he's ever gonna be a champion, and like kind of keeping him around, you know, he's also gonna be a superstar that's gonna suffer, and it sucks. It's crazy, and I don't know. It's just I don't know. Also, these guys, the Awesome Truth, R-Truth and The Miz. The Miz had an interesting promo last week on Monday Night Raw where he was saying how he's tired of being nice because so far him being nice, he always gets screwed over. Well, that's definitely could be a great reason for him to kind of jump ship and kind of be I still think he's young. I still think he has a lot of wrestling inside his heart. I feel like he could be a WWE Intercontinental Champion again. He does have a historic run as the Intercontinental Champion. He's definitely won it a bunch of times. Maybe this could be, kind of like a way. Sorry, excuse me. Kind of like a way for him to like maybe kind of be on his way out. Maybe he's ready to call it quits with his wife Maurice. But R-Truth obviously also up there in age as well. Um, you know, kind of WWE taking a step back from older talent to kind of promote this new talent. And I just hope these guys don't really suffer because R-Truth is funny as hell on the promo, but most of his promos, I gotta be honest, are time consuming and essentially kind of pointless. And he's funny as hell, funny as hell. The Miz, you know, like I said, I feel like he has a lot still left in the tank. We kind of be a damn shame to see these guys kind of lose it. Next, Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser recently had the open challenge. He challenged the WWE United States champion in Germany against LA Knight. He looked good. I thought he looked hella good. I definitely think he could be someone to hold a singles championship. He's one of the youngest rising stars. I just don't want him to kind of take a step back or like take a backseat approach because sometimes when you take a break from the spotlight, you never really make it back again. If Ludwig Kaiser would, not be featured on TV, he kind of did take a break from TV. He did. He came back once when Gunther, was able to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And it's it would be kind of I feel like they'd be kind of shooting themselves in the foot. This is one of the young guys of professional wrestling. Definitely could be the next, kind of like a Gunther. But, with Gunther there, I feel like a lot of talent will be kind of mostly suppressed, leading from the New Day, from R-Truth to The Miz, and of course Ludwig Kaiser. But I don't know. I just yeah, I thought he did really damn good in that match against freaking the LA Knight on last SmackDown. All right, next we have American Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy. Not really so much of a Chad Gable, although I did kind of voice my frustrations that why did his newly formed American Made faction have to take on the Wyatt Six and essentially kind of get kill the momentum. We as WWE fans were waiting for these three guys to finally pop off together, and I thought they're gonna have a good run. But then you had the Wyatt Six, make their debut, and then like Tozawa, Otis, Maxine Dupree. I feel like these guys are gonna take a hit, bigger hit than Chad. Obviously, a way bigger hit than Chad. You've seen the Alpha Academy being brandished on NXT. Maybe they find themselves a way to get into like a TNA kind of, spotlight challenging ABC for those, TNA tag team championships. But overall, I just, I don't know. These guys are going to fade out eventually. I knew it, but this new Monday Night Raw returning to our show, kind of a slap to the face, being like, it looks like WWE hopes to kind of weed out the week, as opposed to obviously, with losing an hour, WWE has to prioritize on PLE worthy storylines instead of little, cute storylines like this. And I don't know if that's the right word to use, cute, but I don't know, just to kind of keep these superstars where they are inside the ring. They do put on some good matches. Akira Tozawa is electric. He's on fire. Maxine Dupree, I feel like it's a young rising woman star. I feel like the whole since they're changing the landscape of WWE, the format, leaving it to 2 hours from Monday Night Raw, you kind of have to have something more. WWE has to change something in the women's division, in the men's division. I kind of like the idea of having a tournament that takes place obviously on the first Monday Night Raw after every pay-per-view or something like that. Just so it gets exciting. Kind of them going to the 2 hour format. I don't want to say 1,010% it's because of TKO Holdings and UFC. Essentially, you're going to kind of have an event happen like you see a UFC fight where you do mostly have PLE storylines or title matches that prioritize over kind of the young one, kind of the young little guy. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Another story: John Cena is about to make his retirement tour. He's going to make his retirement tour. So where does this fit? Where does this fit in a 2 hour show? Especially if he goes to Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean? On SmackDown, he could definitely, but him going to Monday Night Raw, it's already been confirmed that he's going to be a big reason. He's going to be a big top superstar that'll help WWE usher in this new era of Netflix. The Rock's going to be there as well. And once again, John Cena, kind of putting under talent. I'm just kidding. No, no, that was it's kind of a jerk move. That was younger Cena. Now I feel like he does put young generation superstars and above him. But like I said, with him retirement tour, where's this all gonna fit? Where's this all gonna fit? Lastly, we have the Wyatt Six. Wyatt Six already is kind of on the fence, kind of on probation. I really don't, you know, I feel like Uncle Howdy's going to be a huge star. Definitely going to be challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the future. Not against Gunther. He won't challenge Gunther. He will win the title. I feel like they will give it to him. And you're going to see a reign of the Wyatt Six family, the Wyatt family. But it's so crazy how every single time there's a faction like this, you already know the only thing that's going to break them apart is somebody turning on the other person. And, it's inevitable because that's exactly what happens in WWE. You've seen it with the Judgment Day, you've seen it with the Bloodline. How long they have this Wyatt Six, storyline going on, I'm not too sure. It's still obviously very young to kind of give an exact date on when WWE might pull the plug on this, but you need time. You need time, and the videotapes, the promos. Bo Dallas talking to Uncle Howdy, and that's like 3 or 4 minutes right there. And the minutes are going to be crucial. They're going to be so crucial. There's not going to be, they're not going to have time for that anymore. I feel like the tapes were cool at the first couple of times, but then it dragged on. I feel like it does drag on. I feel like Uncle Howdy does need a better approach. I feel like more of a horror movie kind of feel, and that might be possible with them moving to Netflix. I ultimately kind of stand behind and advocate for the idea that as soon as it goes to Netflix, you're going to see some crazy stuff. You're going to see some crazy stuff. The Y6 are going to do. And, WWE having the chance to kind of overall push those boundaries toward more like a mature audience, rated R. But at the same time, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like if you make it to Netflix and if you try too hard to seem a little grim and a little bit more raunchy and, more blood, like WWE is great the way it is right now. You have a lot of young kids watching inside the shows. You have a lot of fans that were once young kids who grew up to be wrestling fans. Obviously, got their kids into it, and you see people still 40 years old that still watch WWE. So you don't really have to lose your identity. You know what I mean? That's something that WWE should definitely know. Moving to Monday Night Raw, I feel like they shouldn't lose their identity kind of stick to your guns. Kind of stick to your guns. All right, guys. So now we're gonna rapidly wrap this up. We got my boy Emran's GSMC Soccer podcast starting in about 23 minutes. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But without further ado, in our last segment, I'm gonna take you guys in my wrestling DeLorean. We're gonna gun it to 88. We're gonna move back in time to the day of September 10th, and we're just gonna, kind of take little drop offs here from year to year. So let's go do it. Let me open the car door for you. Make sure you wear your seatbelt. Why don't you grab a couple of snacks, maybe some drinks, to kind of help you carry along through this ride. So hey, I will be right back.